Pick your mans up.
And that's because people used to come through shooting at us every day. And this block, words can't even explain, man. Can't even explain.
Yeah, man. Little School Valley, 05 Young Money.
Young Money, man. They in the building.
600 boy, LA, man. LA Capone, man. Get it to him, man. OC2 boys, man. Team
Number 9, man. Number 9, the shooter, you hear me?
Hey, we get little bitch. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with you? Hey, I am Brick Squad. Yeah, Brick Squad, boy. What the fuck is you talking about, boy?
You have to be willing to die or go to jail for 100 years if that's the lane that you're stepping in. You have to understand that whether you're 15, 16, you got to think like a man. You know what I'm saying?
So don't be in it. Oh, you're not? Why does everybody say you're only 16 years old?
They say what they want to say.
How old are you?
300.
Just as I mentioned earlier, Lil B grew up in DYMB Dro City territory and was even a member. Like many other gangs, DYMB has a rich and interesting history and is basically a branch of Dro City, just like Taekwon World is a branch of Jaro City. As many of you already know, TYMB stands for Ty, You Are My Brother, and is a set that houses 64th to 65th Cottage to Maryland and contains members that claim BD, GD and Stone. DYMB originated on 65th Maryland, which is Dro City territory, and back then, Dro City was an area that included several different cliques that were all once aligned to honor Dro from Murder Town, as Dro City is named after. Before Dro was shot dead, the area was also known as Ghost Town or Murder Town. Within Dro City, there were Snow Block, The Creek, Saw Block, B and C, D Block and 065 Young Money, which would later become TYMB after the murder of Ty. Around this time, 2006 to 2008, they were also cordial with Trap City, and Dro City were Die 5 heavy because it has been rumored that the Stones of Cranktown were responsible for the murder of Dro. However, just as I mentioned in the first part of Pocket Town, it has also been rumored that Lil A was behind the murder, which of the rumors is true is unknown. Dro City was once an alliance, but after members started dying and new cliques started to emerge, which resulted in smaller factions within Dro City starting to go their separate ways. This is also a big reason why Saw Block, Mac Creek, TYMB and Snow Block stand on their own 2 feet today.
Shit, that nigga over there. Hit on the camera. What the fuck you doing? What's up right now, man? Rock Creek, man. ENT, man. I got my man T, man. He's one of the guys, man. Put in much work, man. We get them niggas, man. We getting it for Pop Rap. Right now. Let's get it, man. Fuck everybody, man. You ain't see Stern's crazy, man. I'm around with the guys, man. Especially my brother. He right there. Hello, man. That's Big Bro, man. Any motherfucker fuck with them, they gonna die, man.
Bitch up, you bitch ass nigga. Die 5.
Nigga, let's get it.
I don't care where you from. But let's go. Y'all already know what it is, man. Die 5, man.
All I gotta say, man, Dro City, nigga.
But let's go touch
Make
time, bitch.
Suicide crazy, niggas.
Making
man, what they talking about is Dro City, Town, City, fucking suicide, CMB app. All the fuck they talking about? Ain't no difference. It's all together. It's Die 5.
Fuck the hooks. Fuck the hooks. Fuck everybody. BSC, Dro City all day, every day. Niggas, Die 5, hook killer. Fuck all of them. It don't help, bitch. Yeah.
.065 Young Money was very influenced by Lil Wayne, and it was also from him that they took the name, and after a while Young Money started to become a well-used name in Chicago. You can see the name in 051YM and 800YM for example. As many of you already know, WISE is an abbreviation for YM, and that is why you can often see artists like Lil Durk and King Von dropping WISE in their music videos, which is a mockery of all young money blocks. However, Durk and Von have not always been dropping WISE for TYMB. You do not have to go further than 7 to 8 years back in time when TYMB was cordial with THF46, Lamron, O'Block, 600, Mabu, Rock Creek, Dog Pound, Chris World and 400 East Murda Drive. Nowadays, every set on that list have turned on TYMB after various incidents that led to war or smaller beefs. The split with THF46 basically started off as petty sneak dissing between THF and TYMB once the word got out that several TYMB members became cordial with 051YM who are enemies of THF. It actually made sense for TYMB to be cool with 051 since there's a lot of family ties between the two. Both were also close with Mabu, much thanks to Melly, Crumb, King Louie, and then there was Kurt Mack who was an OG to both Young Moneys. The sneak dissing between THF and TYMB later led to shootings and robbery. Lil B's cousin Money Man got robbed by THF46 for example. There and then basically every TYMB member 46k. However, a few members from THF like Twilla and Dre Money tried to resolve the situation, however, without success. D Rose, however, who was known for sliding for both TYMB and THF46, never picked a side in the beef and remained cool with both sets. TYMB's fallout with Lamron began after Pluto from Lamron was accidentally killed by Ivory from TYMB. However, even though most people think it was by mistake, many felt differently after hearing reports that Pluto was shot in the back while sitting in the front seat of a car. After the murder, both sides began to sneak diss each other. Lil Reese from Lamron went on Twitter and wrote, "I'm die for both sides for Pluto," and recently, in the song Crossroads, Lil Durk rapped, "Pluto would still be alive if he ain't hang with strangers," which to me and many others makes it sound like it was not an accident. After the song was released, Courtney from TYMB went out on social media and said that Durk is lucky to be alive and that his time is running out. Other TYMB members like Big Dre and Jitta have also mocked Lil Durk several times. TYMB and Rock Creek had their fallout after Blue from TYMB was killed by Rock Creek due to a personal issue. TYMB retaliated, and as of today, Rock Creek is basically cool with the whole Dro City except TYMB. 600 and O'Block basically fell out with TYMB due to their relations with THF46 and Lamron. A lot of O'Block and 600 members started to drop the Ys for TYMB. Then TYMB started to say FOD and that Obama is the real O. However, Lil B's cousin Money Man actually did not support this split since he was very good friends with Prince Dre and had a lot of respect for him. Both Dog Pound and 400 East Murda Drive turned on TYMB due to the Pluto incident. Mubba fell out with TYMB due to personal issues Crump had with them. Nothing major really, but enough for them to not be cordial anymore. There is one more thing to tell when it comes to Dro City. It is not possible to mention the gang without mentioning Pac-Man, who together with King Louie both descended from Dro City and played a major role in the creation and definition of drill music. Many people think that Chief Keef started drill music, which is not true. He was more the artist who made it famous and influenced the whole USA but also several countries in Europe. However, Pac-Man and King Louie, who in my opinion get far too little attention and credit, are actually seen as the makers of drill. Pac-Man was not only an artist but he was also a well-known and respected member of BNC Snow Block, which was a clique within Dro City. Even its enemies respected him after his death. Pac-Man, 25, whose real name was Larry Johnson, was shot in his abdomen in an alley at 6400 South Ingleside Avenue in the Woodlawn neighborhood on the city's south side on June 21, 2010. He was sadly later pronounced dead at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. King Louie, who is also mentioned as one of the founders of drill music, is still alive today but was really close to losing his life in late December 2015 when he was shot in the head 7 times, allegedly by Rome from THF 46. In an interview, King Louie said that the devil came and shot him. After that quote, THF 46 began to refer to Rome as the devil himself. Just like I mentioned earlier, Lil B was a member of TYMB, and it is actually a lot that suggests that he actually put in work for them as well. Kells from TYMB taught Lil B how to move and do hits. Lil B had a name in the street already in the years 2007 to 2008. He was known for sliding on Jaro City and even had a shootout together with Scoot from Dro City with P5's brother Panky from Jaro City. He often slid with people like Courtney, Manny and Cortez from TYMB and was always around on the block and ready to pop out. However, Lil B would not remain a TYMB member for long. He would later switch and basically go over to the other side, to EBT, and I'll tell you why. Basically, Lil B was high and playing with guns and accidentally shot himself. However, after Lil B was treated at the hospital, the police came and picked him up for questioning because the police thought some enemies had come through and shot him. Some day after Lil B was questioned by the police, supposedly one of the members of TYMB was arrested. Allegedly it was Manny. It was after this that rumors began to flourish that Lil B snitched on Manny by saying that Manny supplied him with the weapon. Lil B basically got violated because of this rumor, and there are some rumors that he was beaten up. However, I do not know if that is true. However, the rumor that Lil B was snitching did not last long. It was pretty quickly disproved and his name was cleared. However, by that time, Lil B had already made up his mind and switched to EBT. This was a pretty natural transition as his sister and mother stayed on EBT all the time, and Lil B was not particularly involved in the war with EBT since his family stayed on that side. And since EBT was in desperate need of shooters, and since they knew Lil B was really about that action, they accepted him. However, Lil B never switched nation. He was always a BD and remained BD. He even claimed GDK. For those of you who do not know, Lil B actually stands for Lil BD. STL/EBT and Jaro did not care about that though. Jaro had several BDs such as Motor and Skinny. Both EBT and STL also had BDs. Nation did not matter as long as you did not play both sides. Today, the nation does not matter at all.